Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Mindful Elevation. Welcome to another session. Today, we're going to have another interesting topic. My name is Ramona Hanza. I'm your host for this evening. And as a guest speaker, we're going to have Miss Sharon Melfor, who is an occupational therapist, and we're going to talk about that topic. Welcome, Miss Sharon Melfor. How are you doing?
Hi, thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. So tonight is going to be the topic about occupational therapist and the untold truth about it and what you don't know about it as yet. So Miss Sharon, you would mind to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, like Ramonda just said, my name is Sharon Lee Melfor. I went to school with Ramonda at the elementary school, you say, this basis school, basis
Yes,
onderwijs. We've been in
correct.
class together for many years. And after that, we both went to Rodolphus, to the secondary
Correct.
school.
Yes.
But unfortunately, I felt I was too smart, so I didn't really learn in the first year. So I had to go to the MAVO. And then after that, I lost track a lot of many other colleagues from school since Basel School. But then I went back in the fourth year. And when I finished that, I went to Holland and I did occupational therapy. Why I chose occupational therapy is because actually I was looking for something like I love biology and chemistry. So I wanted to do something in that area. And my first idea was getting something into chemistry because it was my part I was strongest in while going to school. But then I was thinking, sitting the whole day in a lab with no people, no talking, only doing chemistry for my whole life. I was like, I don't think it's gonna be something I would love. So I was looking more into something that had something to do with that, but more handling with people. So my first thought was going to do psychotherapy, the physiotherapy. But then I went to talk to different on the island, different ones on the island, the good ones. And they told me, actually, there are too many on the island. So if I want to come back, I better choose something else that I would be definitely getting a job. So I went to SGR, and there I got to know what occupational therapy is. So I loved it. And I went to Hogeschool Rotterdam to do this. I finished in actually 4 years, but I had like a problem with one of the hoogleraren there. So I had to do an extra year for just one keuzevak. So not even a very important one, but actually I finished in 2005. I got my diploma.
Nice, nice. Yes, I remember those days in Holland too, especially with those main subjects. You had to make sure to do it correctly, like they wanted it, and otherwise,
You won't get it.
no, correct. That's
Mm-hmm.
true. That's true. Welcome everybody again. We here with Sharon Melfor talking about a profession, occupational therapist, and what all it entails. If you have a question or you have a remark, you can always post it in the chat, and in between we will look at it and we will answer the questions. So Sharon, tell us a little bit about what occupational therapist is, or what an occupational therapist is.
Okay, occupational therapy in Dutch they say ergotherapie. It's really a therapy for occupation. What we do is see how to um, do something of daily living that you feel it's important for you. It can be on your workplace, in your house, or at school, how to do it efficiently and with so less help possible. And most of all, it's people with a disability. I'm working now now for 14 years now at Fundación ProBista at the Rehabilitation Center for Visually Impaired. So after 14 years, I'm pretty specialized with the disability of the vision. So to guide a person with a vision loss of very low vision, how to handle their daily activities. It can be the simple thing of making a piece of bread or a cup of tea into the most things that are very difficult by doing a job that they're used to do, and they want to keep their job, or they have to keep on working because now, as we know, the social security here on the island is very, very low. So not working is an option.
Okay. So you were saying that you help the clients and that you work at ProBista. So those are clients that stay at ProBista, or those are clients that come during the day by you and or do activities and then in the afternoon go back home?
Yes, it's a rehabilitation center. They don't live there. We guide kids from 0 till the elder till 100 and something we had. They come there. We are open from 8 to 5 and give the guidance from 8:30 till 2:30. Now with the new normal, we change the hours. We go also to their workplace or the home, or where, like I would say, oudertehuis or verpleeghuis. We also go there.
Elderly homes.
Yes. We guide the person itself, but we also guide the family, the caretakers, and sometimes also the teachers at school for them to give the best guidance to a person with a visual impairment.
Okay. So if you're telling me you also guided teachers, that means it's from all ages. You have clients in all age groups?
Yes, that's true. So actually, we do have different departments. We have the children department. So my colleague Kendra Everts is the one that's more entitled to work with the kids, but she gets more the guidance of pedagogic way. So how to guide the kids, for the children to grow up to become a self-sufficient person with so less help possible. And what I do then is pitch in the parts that are more technical. So if they need like a aid for reading, or the best kind of light, how they can move into the class without getting any trouble, or adapt the classroom so they can get the best vision what they have, like little vision, but they get like the most optimal way to handle in the classes or at home. Okay. So the main person that guides them is then the coordinator of that department, and then I pitch where needed.
Okay. Okay.
For the older ones, we have the social worker, we have the social part where they get like guidance how to handle the fun part of life, also to have a hobby and everything. We do also IT department, so people can also learn how to communicate by computer or smartphone. We have the library for people also that loves to read. So we have many different departments, and like our department of the rehabilitation, we do have the rehabilitation part, but also we help all the other colleagues where they are stuck into how to give them the best guidance.
Okay. Okay. If you just mentioned that 14, you're doing this profession already for 14 years. So if you see the first year that you started working as an occupational therapist and 14 years later now, do you find a change in the community as well with accepting people with a vision impairment or disabilities in general?
It can be better. It can be better. It's like, yeah, it doesn't really go up all the way up. There's always a time that goes down that I don't know how come, but there are some times that you think people don't know about the rehabilitation center and they surprise you. And other time you think, oh, they must know it and they don't know. So it's very, I don't know what's the reason, but we really try to inform people while in the Luna di Buzong. It's our month that we put we emphasize on the relation center of the products we do deliver. But I think it's the change of someone needing the help or knowing someone that got the guidance.
Yeah.
And if the new generation also, if they didn't get any information and people on the special places get shifted, then you get to lose the, they lose the interest in, the company loses the interest in our revalidation center. So when you call them again for help or inform them or something, they don't know you. So you have to start all over again.
Yeah, yeah. So then, where it does work, the ProBista, they does try to give information every so often so it can stay known in the community as well.
Yes, we try to go to schools, to different companies. We try to put a lot of social media nowadays. We do have the Instagram and the Twitter and the Facebook, all of them. We also, that's a little bit more expensive, but on the radios and on TV, we do give informations and interviews and promote a lot of the institutions. So people remember that also a person with a visual impairment is not, it doesn't have to be forgotten. They do have the qualities to be able to manage in daily life like all of us, because like I always say, we do all have challenges and disabilities. The only thing is there are a lot of many disabilities that we do have. We can hide it, or we don't even know it's a disability. And the difference with a person with a real disability is that they encounter the challenges more often than we do that don't have a disability. And it takes more for them to prove that they're worthy comparing to us. So that's then again my job to advocate for these kind of people, to let them know also that they're important, they have a voice, they're allowed to be on this world, they have a purpose on this world, because otherwise they wouldn't be here. So to prepare for us to get to all the goals they do have and all the dreams they want to conquer.
Okay, that's nice. Because I was going to ask you, indeed, when it comes to the client itself, how important actually is it for them to be able to work in a regular environment and be able to, as much as possible, continue with the daily life?
It's very important because if I go from the point of view of an occupational therapist, we do see a person holistic. So it's the body, mind, and soul. As a person, you do need a purpose. We wake up every day, and if you don't have a purpose, you get depressed. You don't feel why you're supposed to be awake, and you don't see why you have to be in the community. So having a purpose is knowing you have a place in family, friends, in the community, but also knowing that you have to wake up every day to be able to do something, either it's work, school, or even if it's a hobby that you do every day or few days a week. It's very important for a person. So for children that are born with a visual impairment, it's to empower the parents for them to empower the children, because you get most of the time the parents, they feel guilty that they brought a child on the world with a visual impairment, so they made their life harder. They tend to take over everything and lose the focus that you will not be here for always, and this child has to become a grown person and has to be able to have also their family or their purpose in life. So that's we try every day with the teachers, with the parents, for give the push to this child to become a person in the community. For the older people that lost their eyesight, it can be harder because you've lived your whole life doing things in a certain way, meaning seeing it. And when you look at it, that means that's like the impairment that most people, they're very afraid of, losing their eyesight, because the world is very visual. Everything is becoming touchscreen. If you can see it, it's nice. If you don't see it, how do you manage to have a life? That's the first thing they think.
Yeah.
And they even think or have the feeling if they used to play a guitar or love to dance, they cannot because they can't see it. I was like, since when do you play the guitar with your eyes? I never saw someone playing the guitar like this.
Correct.
Or even dancing, I thought you close your eyes and it is dark in the disco. So I don't remember seeing when I was dancing. So, you know, so they're very small little things. I'm putting a bit of sarcasm in it. That's me. For them to realize life just goes on. And if you didn't have a purpose, you wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So you do have something else to prove in this world without the eyesight. Hope is something I cannot take away from you. It's something that you have with your God or the thing you believe in. I would never take it off from you, but we do have to prepare and keep on living the way it is right now.
Yeah.
So that's my job, to conquer all your fears, to help you to get over the difficult parts in life and make you stronger for the new way of life. This new normal, like the new word we are using right now.
Yes.
And we do also have, how do you say, uitdrukking, like you say in papiamento, vida no acaba, ela diz cambia.
Yeah, so that
life haven't changed.
Correct.
So that's what we try to give our clients on a daily basis, that you just have to keep on going because you're still breathing, and you can't choose when you're not here anymore. You go when you have to go.
Yeah.
So it's a very hard process of how do you say, raw process. It's what makes it difficult for a low vision person. Every single percentage you lose of your eyesight, your raw process starts all over again.
Okay.
And it's very frustrating for us while guiding you, because when you think of, okay, we got 10 steps now, let's go for the 11. And then the person loses a percentage or more of their eyesight. You're like, what? You can do this, you can do that, you learn this, you learn that, you master this, you master that. How come you cannot do it anymore? They're like, no, and I can see. I'm like, you haven't been seeing since the beginning, so what's the difference? So in the beginning it was like, oh my God, I can kill you, you know? We have to go forward, we cannot go back.
Yeah.
And then after a very long guidance and workshop we got in Holland with the psycholoog, this is psychiatrist.
Yeah.
When they told me the more you mourn, right? It's a mourning process. You call it the raw process?
Yes.
Starts again, I'm like, oh, okay. It's like losing your mom again, losing your dog again. You know, it's that important. So I can understand why you fall back in that zero state, and maybe you will get faster through the stages, but it doesn't mean that you don't get there back. So that makes it challenging for us while giving guidance. And what I try to do to help my clients is always take, if you have a kind of vision, I take it like a little bit further. So doing as you look, you're looking even worse.
Okay.
So to prepare you for when it goes there, you feel safer, because it's just the safe feeling, because you can do everything, but only you don't feel safe. You don't know how. You think everything it's more difficult because you're um, accustomed to do everything with your eyesight,
Correct.
even a bit you had.
Mm-hmm.
And what I always say, God gave us 5 senses and only one is falling out. So the other 4 senses, you have to try to manage to use them more efficiently. And the bad thing about our eyesight is that we always use our eyes as the police.
Mm-hmm.
I always use the resemblance of when you get a green apple.
Mm-hmm.
You can see green apple because it's sour
Yeah.
compared to the red apple or the yellow apple. The outside part, it's no, do you say softer? It's gladder. You say it? It's
Smoother.
because it's smoother than a red apple or a yellow apple. You can
Mm-hmm.
feel the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Biting it, you can taste it because it's sour. But
Correct.
still, we go and look at it. Oh, it's a green apple. So actually, you don't trust all the other senses that give you the information because the eyesight has to confirm that everything you smelled, you tasted, or you grabbed is the thing that you thought it was. But actually, it is because you've been taking that information already. So the thing what I do is guide you to trust the other senses and use it more efficiently.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's not a thing like they say when you start losing your sight, you go listen or smell or taste by yourself, it becomes better. No, it's a training. You have to focus on it. You have to elaborate on it. You have to try everything. It's like falling and standing up again because sometimes you're sure it's something and it's not. So you have to learn how to use it efficiently.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. At the beginning, you said that is this especially those parents where the children born with a vision impairment, it's a little challenging because they want to put a child in a glass cupboard and do everything for them. Is it easy to make them realize that, like you said, listen, your child will grow up, they will need to go out there, they will form their own family, they will need to learn all these skills for them to be able to handle the outside world as well. Is it challenging, or is it easy to make them realize that?
It's very challenging because even now that I'm a mom for 4 years now, you can understand it better. It's feeling of responsibility is so big that everything you do is for the future of your child to become a better person.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And when you get with a disability, you're so afraid that the world won't accept him or her. So you can tell me by being the occupational therapist or the guider or whatever, you can tell me that the one that has the child that I have to cut loose, let the child fall a few times, get hurt a few times for her or him to be able to handle daily life. Who are you? I'm in this boat, you know, I have the child, it's my child. And even when your child doesn't have a disability, you already feel like taking care of your child is doing everything for your child. And even when you get older, the tendency of us is when you love a person, you do everything for that person. Guys, while doing everything for a person, that's taking away responsibility. That's number one.
The families that have children that are born with a visual impairment, so it's a little bit more challenging for them. Now, working on a small island, do you see that family have a child with a visual impairment, they will come easier to you or maybe even the doctor and say, listen, I need extra assistance or an extra guidance, or do you see that it's kind of like a taboo kind of thing on the island?
It's still a taboo for all groups. Um, Unfortunately, there are not that many people that know what we really do. They think it's like an elderly place, so you dump someone there and they do something with it, and it will go out made that it can do everything. It's like a dog school or something. And second of all, afraid of being even like we used to have some of our children when we used to use our bus to go pick them up. They were so embarrassed that a bus with ProBista on it is gonna pick them up. Everybody gonna know that I can see.
Yeah.
Or we also had a child that was fully blind since her birth, and until her third year, her mom was picking her up. She wasn't walking because they didn't want to let people know that she can see.
Okay.
And till today, now she's grown up. She still walks without the flow of walking because she didn't do the passes of a child. So she didn't crawl. She didn't do all of the things that a child from 0 to 3 years are supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
So while loving your child, while taking care of your child, while putting it in a glass, you damage the bright future of this child.
Yeah.
Not even realizing this. And most of the time they realize it when they get sick or the child is getting older and have needs. And they realize, well, oh no, you're supposed to do all these things. And then go manage in a few years doing all the things you were supposed to do in 10, 11, 15 years of your lifetime.
Yeah.
Almost impossible. So it is challenging. It is sometimes a war you go with the parents. It is acceptance. It is leaving and come back. It's giving some space and sometimes even not giving the space. It's sometimes taking other measures, talking to other like how you say institutes. We even helped to take some children away from their parents because they weren't able to give them the care that they would need for them to become yeah, how do you say, a person with a purpose. um, um, it isn't easy. It isn't easy, and I do realize that, and we do respect that. But again, our responsibility is to take care of the visually impaired. So even if it's a 0 to 100 and something, we will always see how we can help for this person to get what they deserve to have and not what they can have.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because indeed I realize with different or different type of disabilities on the island, it's like a taboo. People don't really come out with it, and then later down the line for the child or even for the adult, it's a challenge for them to be able to manage a life on their own. That is so true. Like for example, the child that you or the ProBista bus that you mentioned. So then
Mm-hmm.
something like that, how you guys went around that to still be able to pick up the children, or
There are some children that they choose not to come or to ask their parents to drop them. Um, they are some, they ask you, if you come to school and to help me, it's okay. I'm not taking the bus to go to the institute. But it depends also on the parent, how they push their child to
Mhm.
get there. And you realize after a few years, depends on which which life path they're on in that moment. They choose for themselves and then realize everybody knows I have visual impairment. Everybody notices I have either a strange kind of glasses, or my eyes are going from left to right. It's called the nystagmus, or that I have to just keep on doing like this to see it something, because people see it.
Yeah.
And the one that you are fooling is yourself, because how can you manage not letting someone know that you don't have an impairment?
Yeah.
What I try to tell my clients always is, you can either search for pity,
Mm-hmm.
and either search for how do you say it, admiration. If you have a disability
Mm-hmm.
and you're able to do everything, how do you say it, more independent possible, and you're so sure of yourself, of everything you do. Most of us, even if we don't have impairment, we do have so many disabilities. We are unsure of so many things. We are afraid of so many things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not having the vision and still managing to finish your school, doing your homework, go out, have style, do your hair and everything, that's admiration. And then you get many more fans, and the more fans you have, the more goals you can reach.
Yeah.
But if you have your pity, they won't help you. They will be afraid to be like you, and you won't get any goals. So try to get the admiration, and never ever let people say, oh, it's good enough because they're blind. No, it has to be good in any way, even if the person is blind or not. Even more excellent because the person is blind. So that's what we try to empower our clients, for them to um, take everything you can and do it the best you can. And if you trust in yourself, because I do trust in you, but trusting yourself, I'm sure you can reach it. And I'll be there, as the whole organization will be there standing behind you and applauding every single, because everything you reach, every goal you reach is for us like a big feast, and it's like our own, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I like the empowerment part. Instead of only teaching them certain skills, but indeed empower them too, and show them that when you reach this skill, or you try to better yourself, it's only it gives you more self-esteem as well, and it's better for you. You're able to go out there and do whatever you want to do. So I like that part. Gina is saying protecting the child or overprotecting is actually harming the child's future. That is so true. And but most of the time, the child gets their fear of home, and they are from reaction from the parents. Parents have the fear or reaction from society. Yeah, you does
Yeah.
encounter that as well, right?
Yeah, actually, we've been for more than a year now. We've been getting many classes, empowerment classes, and how to change your way, your focus, actually, to be more um, uh, happier in life and getting your life purpose. And I had many mirrors in my face. And actually, if you come to think about your fears, most of the fears are the ones that you didn't even um, had an encounter with it. It's something you got from your parents or the society, like Gina said. And if you just try to open that fear up and see all the particles of that fear, they're pointless.
Yeah.
Like a sample. I hate cockroaches. They're I
Yeah.
hate them.
Yes. I think
And
we all do.
we got die when I see one, you know. And we got a class, and they said if you're afraid, the word afraid, meaning the worst thing is that you can get injured or die or have so many pain. That's like the worst thing you have to be afraid of, right? If you're afraid for a cockroach, that's how many times smaller than you, and you can just step on it and it will die. I think you're emotional immature.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And then my reaction on a cockroach is, oh my God, that's so sad. And I have a son growing up. I expect that kid to kill it for me. How can I, as the mom, as the protector, as the leader, as the one that he will copy paste everything I do, react like I'm gonna die because it's like a lion coming out of a cave or a wild beast eating me, and expect him to learn how to kill a cockroach to keep me safe? Impossible.
Yeah.
So then it's like, oh my God, I'm not doing my child any good. So I'm doing it for him, not for me. I'm like, I don't like it, but I feel like, please kill it for me. Try to be very mature to learn him how to be, the fears that he will encounter will be the things that he passed through life that made him afraid because of things that he encountered, and not something that I am pasting on him.
Yeah.
I've given in without him even knowing the why. Because most of the things like all those how you say it, bijgeloof. You know how you say it in English?
I don't know.
Everything kills your mom, right? If you put your hand to your hat, you kill your mom. If you put your your shoes back, it kills your mom. If you walk on your knees, it kills your mom. Why? We don't even ask anymore. So all fears.
Superstition.
Sorry?
Superstition.
Superstition, yes. We kill our mom for everything. But why would I kill my mom of everything? Why would I kill my mom if I put my hand on my hand on my hat?
Yeah.
So it's a copy paste. We even know where it comes from. It does have an explanation, but if I go back into my grandma and my great grandma, they can't tell me why I would kill my mom if I put my hand on my hat.
They
So
would tell you it's just like that. Just do it.
Sorry?
No, I said they would tell you it is just like that because I told you so. So
yeah, you know. So yeah, I don't do it because I don't want to kill my mom, obviously. Those are the little things that we don't realize, that how powerful everything we say and do and react brings into our community, because we are the ones making the community, because we are the moms, we are the dads, we are the grandmas bringing up a child. Because still, even if we don't like it, but it takes a village to bring up a child.
yeah.
It takes a village to validate a person, because it's not only me on the revalidation center that guide that person, but it's the family, it's the IT specialist, it's our social guidance, it's the whole team with the family, with the school, with everybody, with the community, that gives this person the chance to become something or someone in our community.
Yeah.
And by giving them the empowerment that they can do it and believing in them for them, will help them, instead of bringing all the fears and the problems that they may encounter. Because like I always say, problems are there to have a solution. Otherwise, they wouldn't be called a problem.
Correct. That's true. When a client does come by you, do they stay the rest of their life by you or by ProBista, or is there at one point that they are able to be on their own, manage on their own?
Actually, that's our dream, for them to get the guidance and go on their own. But you do realize there are many challenges in our community, because financially, there are many things that are very difficult to handle, like a simple thing. Since SVB took over the Leia Bijang, that's AWBZ wet, the one that are people that do have impairment, they get aids or something, just like hulpmiddelen, like they say in helping aids. They don't give it anymore. So a simple enhancement, you say a magnifying glass or a walking cane or you name it, these people have to pay themselves. If they lost their job, their social security, the max is 260 guilders a month.
Yeah.
They have to eat, have to, they're not paying any transportation anymore. Either only have to go to the specialist or doctor. Otherwise, you don't get any transportation. Our bus system, horrible. You don't know when it's coming, when it's leaving, it's really going. It's horrible. So it makes it very difficult for a person to become self-sufficient and independent.
Yeah.
So they encounter many more challenges. So the whole journey is longer comparing to Holland or the US. The US, they don't pay that many things, but still depends on your insurance thing. You know, you can get the great guidance and all the aids that you need.
Yeah.
And in Holland, it's all paid. So person goes maybe in a relation center, depends how bad the situation is. They go there for a few months, they get the psychiatrist, they get the psychologist, they get the occupational therapist, everything they get. They manage the house is then perfectly interior designed for a person with a visual impairment. So it's actually take the guidance and then go into the community. And if you need help, you can call again, but most of the time they don't need more help because they do have everything in place.
Yeah.
And that's the difference on the that most of the time is the financial aid that is not there that makes a person dependent or on other people and other, I say it, institutions for them to get the guidance and help.
Okay. Okay, I see. And now with these empowerment classes that you started with, also with your clients, I imagine, do you still see a difference despite the financial situation? As in when it comes to them, they, how you say it? They are able to go out there, they feel more empowered to go out there or do the things on their own besides the financial impediments?
How would I say? How would I put it? It depends on the situation they're in, and very importantly, the people that they have around them.
Okay.
Most of the time, they do get empowered. They are able to do it by us, by ProBista, for instance. But when they go home, the mom or the wife or the kid won't let them go to make some tea or something because you will burn yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, you do it at ProBista. There you can know how to do it. They know how to guide you, but here you won't do it. So you empower them, you get them to learn, you get them to do it, and when they go into the real life, they will be put it back in the place where they started.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of courage and a lot of I say strength for you to break those walls and those ideas of your people around you, because most of the time the crab syndrome are the ones that love you the most, are afraid for you to go out of the nest. So they're afraid to lose you, they're afraid something happens to you, they're afraid if something happens to you, it will be their fault. It's not even for you, it's for them more most of the time. So we try then to give them also the guidance at their home. If they come and tell us that they're trying but it's not going, we try to talk to to the partner or the parents or the ones that live with them or even the caretakers. But it stays difficult because it's the way of seeing a person with a impairment is sometimes very hard to very hard to break for the other people in the community to trust that even when you have a disability, it doesn't mean that you cannot do anything anymore. Maybe in a special way or adapted way, but they can do it in their way. And it's their way, it's the easier way for them and not your way that you're accustomed to do and not even the way they used to do it. Yeah. So it's a challenge. The people that do get it are the ones that they get fed up of being dependent of people and still not being happy with themselves. Mm-hmm. And the change, and you see them flourish into very nice flowers. Some of them even choose to leave the country or go to live on their own. Mm-hmm. Won't get the space to be the person they're supposed to be.
Okay, yeah, I see. I can imagine indeed that because even when you don't have an impairment, when people keeps on trying to let me say block you from trying to flourish and do what you want to do, what you have to do, that even you will get back. So I can imagine that when you have an impairment and then they more on top of you, more trying to do everything for you. And yes, we understand it's because of the love and everything, but as a person, you want to be able to do and eat your own things. So that is true. During these pandemic, how it went with your clients, and do you see that? Do you notice that now that you started back with them, that you have to start all the way back over? Like you said, that every time when they lose a percentage of, for example, their sight, it's like they're mourning. Do you see a difference?
In the beginning, I told my colleagues we're doing something wrong. We're doing something very wrong.
Anytime.
Are not doing anything. Mm-hmm. They're waiting for us to get help. What is this? We're the rehabilitation center. They're supposed to become independent. So if they're not independent, what are we doing wrong?
Yeah.
But it's the way they used to do things had to change. We had to go digital. We had to go in the modern way. We were, like I just told you, we had to go in the fifth gear of digitalization.
Yeah.
They learn the IT. They have a smartphone. They do things, but they can manage for other people to do it for them anyways, or just go to the place and let the clerk do it. Mm-hmm. But in this epidemic, this pandemic, they had to do it themselves. So it took a little bit of time to put them in the way of realizing that this is their time, because on the islands, most of the things are on paper. You cannot go online and find a store and order something. They won't deliver, just like in bigger countries. And actually being digital for the visual impaired is the go thing.
Yeah.
You can reach everything without not needing to see anything. You can go do your grocery shopping without someone has to bring you there, go through the aisles and pick stuff. You can read everything because you have screen readers or the voiceover of your phone, and actually you can do everything yourself. Means also that working at home and everything through the computer, that means everything is digital. So actually this is the right time for our focus group to be able to take over the market. And we've been trying to do that. There are some also, there's some of our clients, they flourish in this time and realize from, hey, ProBista is not there for me for everything. I am the one in charge of my growth.
Mhm.
Myself, I won't reach any goals. So I'm very proud to see some of my clients, they went from 0 to 80 and still going on. And there's some, they fell off the wagon because they're like, okay, no, I can't do this, and afraid of doing things. We're trying to take them also on the wagon. But we see also that they became very creative in looking for possibilities for them to be able to have their social gatherings, to have communication, to find a living, do
Yeah.
something
Mhm.
to earn their money, and stop going to ProBista to get the guidance to go there and never reach it because it's safe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Correct. Correct. You were just saying about doing their work. What type of work people with vision impairment do have, or your clients then?
Um, it depends on the how to say the knowledge and IQ, do you say, of the client.
Mhm.
Um, you have people that are very handy. They are still handy. They're having growing plant. They do plantations. They make furniture. Some of them, they are artists, like big artists. We're now in a cooking session also. We have different chef cooks we do have also. They make pasapalo, and they do catering and stuff. We do have clients that bake, others that work in a bank, others at an insurance company. We used to have, but that's the law also, that they're not allowed to work anymore. But we do have teachers, and they are so passionate about their job, because most of the time when you stay in the job being a teacher, it's a passion. So taking it away from you, it's like killing you life. So that's a challenge also we do have on the island because of the law. If you have a visual impairment, you're not allowed to teach.
Okay.
Um, they'll look for other way to teach, either with remedial teaching or something in that range.
Mm-hmm.
If I say baylas,
After school, yeah.
after, yeah, guidance. We do have what else do we have? It depends on the person, what they like, what they love, what are the possibilities. And my job is not to change the things they do. It's adapting the things they do so they will be able to do it.
Yeah.
So it's what I want, it's what they want, and what's realistic, and they have to put themselves to reach it, because I'll be able to help, but I'm not the one that sometimes they don't realize that I'm just there to guide, because I do have a job already. I finished my school already. So actually I don't need it. You're
Yeah.
the one asking me for help, and with a lot of love, I would guide you to reach all these goals also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm curious actually to know how come when someone has a vision impairment they can't teach anymore.
They can, it's the law. It's the law. It's I don't know. It's really like that. If you have they have a percentage that you need to have of vision. Though if you have lower than that, they put you on non-active, and after 2 years they cut you loose, and there you are, without
Okay.
job, without nothing, and you can fight it, but it's in the law, so
Yeah. Correct. Okay. Because I can imagine as a pilot you have to have good vision because you have to see where you're flying to. But then as a teacher, even though yes, you have to be writing on the board, but it's not.
actually nowadays everything is digital, so
Yes.
actually if you use the board nowadays, you are a boring teacher. You use the
Correct.
board and the computer and stuff, but they say you cannot manage the security of the class when you can see.
Ah, okay.
Actually, yeah, we changed our education by funderend onderwijs, meaning that you always have to go on the level of the child and you have an extra guidance in the class, but financially they can afford that extra person in the class.
Yeah.
So actually they're on the ways, but we don't have that extra that are supposed to make a funderend onderwijs realistic and logical where it's supposed to be. So
Correct.
I think that's also the thing that makes it more difficult. But we also had one of our clients were director of a school, but she lost her job then. I don't know why you really need a vision to do that. And the other one was at this secondary school. She was a math teacher, wiskundeleraar,
Mm-hmm.
and she wasn't allowed also to work anymore.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah. So that will be like you have been telling during this time, a whole new adjustment for them.
yes. And what else are you gonna do? Because that's your passion, and they cannot even think something else to do that it's not teaching and guiding young people.
Correct.
So some of them they start with the after school guidance.
Mm-hmm.
Now one of them is looking into remedial teaching, but yeah, I don't know if our school bus students are open-minded enough
Will
to
work.
give. Mhm.
Yes, yes, that's another challenge to indeed work with and try to have things change. Yeah, I think it's everywhere like that, that it's not easy. Okay, so we have been talking with you, Sharon, about your profession, and you have been giving us a lot of information. So for us now to kind of like close it off, do you have any tips, let's say, for parents that have a child with vision impairment, and a tip for those that have to work with children but also have colleagues that are visually impaired?
Actually, even if, because like we always say, if you adapt your class for visually impaired, it's adapted for the whole class, because then it's then we use all the senses what we're supposed to be using for us to get the information to stay longer in your knowledge.
Mhm.
Actually, it takes more work, but the results of the whole class will be extraordinary then. So don't think it as a burden. It is a challenge being a teacher with a child with a visual impairment, but we do give the guidance from Fundación ProBista if that's a thing. But it's together actually that we can reach the goals, and to reach the to get to the station, the end station, we do need the child as a captain, because it's what the child can do and wants to achieve, and all the other ones are on the wagon to help it to get at the end of the way. So the parents, the teachers, we call it the AOB, ambulant onderwijsbegeleider, is the one that gives the extra guidance in school.
Yeah.
And we forget that even a child is a person. It's a small person though, but it's a person that has feelings, thoughts, and kids nowadays, they already know from very small of age what they want to reach and become.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, our job is not to break them, to make them,
Mm-hmm.
or guide them to become a good person, to reach their goals.
Yeah.
And sometimes we see things from our eyes, from our experience, but it's their life and their experience. So it's very difficult sometimes to do that because that's our way that we're also being brought up. You're not allowed to talk. You're not allowed to look into my face. You're not allowed to be a person because you're a child.
Correct.
But what I realized is that actually being a parent is not for your child to lose themselves, for them to become what you think and what the community wants them to think. And then at the end, when you're 20, 30, you get at the point that you don't know who you are, and I lost myself, and I have to find yourself again. So
Yeah, correct.
It's a challenge to try as a teacher, as a parent, to not to let your child to lose themselves. Guide them to become better selves. It's not easy, but that's a tip I would give to any parent and any teacher. Even it's a visually impaired person or another child with other disabilities or a normal child. We have to guide them for the community. And like my grandma always said in Papimiento, nos no talanta, nos yupa, nos mes, pero nos talanta, nos yupa, nos comunidad. Because it's for our community we're bringing up a person, because they're gonna become the doctors, the nurses, the teachers, and everything. They're not gonna become your teacher, your nurse, you'll be the mom, and you won't be there forever.
Right.
Guide them to become like the community you would want to live in.
Yes, exactly. That is true. And then you have a tip for how you call it, when we have a colleague with a vision impairment, how best we can go about that to make them feel part of the team.
First of all, they're a person. They also have dreams. They also can be funny. They also would love to wear things that are in like moda clara. They also want to go out. They also want to achieve their goals. They also want to get the promotion. So first of all, they're a person with the same fears, the same needs as all of us. Only the extra is that they have an extra challenge. That's their vision. That's not 100%. And it's not doing things for them, but showing them how to do it. And the difference about, actually, you can really be afraid of a person with a visual impairment or you're on the job, because when a person has a disability and gets the opportunity to work, even if they're not 100% to do the job, if they do it to 50%, they will do it 100% 50. They would never, they would be very afraid to lose their job. So will they give themselves 100% for them to be accepted on the work field?
Yeah.
When we don't have any disability, let's be very, very honest, we do not work 100%.
Correct.
We work less than 50 more most of the time. If you have a headache, if something happened with a colleague, if you don't like the thing you're supposed to do, or you have problems at home, or you feel sick. Anyway,
yeah,
there's always a reason not to be 100% on your job, you know?
Correct.
So we cannot judge a person that has a disability, because actually they really do put all of them for them to keep the job.
Okay.
That's they only have one more challenge than we do.
Correct. That is true. That is true. Okay, Sharon. Well, it was a nice evening sharing it with you, that you was willing to share this information with us and tell us a little bit more about what the occupational therapist does do. You would want to say something before we close it off?
Yes, I would want to thank everyone that was here with us this night. I want to thank you also, Ramonda, for remembering that about my passion about being an occupational therapist. I want to share it with all the friends and family and others interested. And I would say everybody that has a disability, actually they have more abilities extra that we think. It's not being able to see 100% of not be able to have that that ability to walk fast because they're in a wheelchair or something. But most of the time they make other abilities to compensate the one that it's not 100%. So never feel pity for this person, but more admiration. And you realize when you have admiration for a person, you get to see things that you won't be able to see when you have a pity for this person.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, and thank you again, Sharon, for your time. Thank you all that were present here on during your Saturday. And then stay tuned for another live session from Mindful Elevation, and keep the Facebook and the Instagram page so you can get to see when we're going to have another one and what the next interesting topic is going to be. Thank you again, Sharon, and
Okay.
enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.